The shared postcard model, is it really as simple and as easy as all these videos show, all these interviews? Well, stick around. Welcome to The Local Hustle. I'm Jose Morales, and this is where I document the real behind-the-scenes journey of building a local marketing and print business. Every episode, I'll be sharing what I worked on today, what's working, what's not, and the lessons I'm learning along the way, from selling postcard advertising to print projects like banners, yard signs, door hangers, and more. This is the real journey of building something from the ground up. So let's get into today's episode. Okay, well, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, drop a comment down below, and I also have a free community, so go ahead and jump on that, because I don't know how long I'll keep it free, but as far as right now in this moment, depending on when you're watching it, it is free to join. Now, going back to the video, so we've been seeing how the shared postcard is starting to get way more traction, right? I think, what was it, maybe last year, year and a half ago, it got a little boost, and now it's getting another boost because there was another interview that was done where it just makes it sound so easy. And is it easy? It is. It's a very simple model, but it's always going to depend on, there's always going to be multiple factors, because if you look at every single type of business, every single business can be profitable, can blow up. So look at a mom and pop pizza shop, right? So, and then in that same city, there's going to be franchises that are doing like quadruple and beyond what a mom and pop does, right? Because there's different systems, processes in place, maybe the location and all that. But when it comes to this one here, it's also going to be dependent on the market. So the market is going to dictate, how quickly you're going to be able to scale, what pockets of the area that you're really going to be able to hit and all that. But it is possible. So now for me, if you look back at some of my videos, I struggled in the very beginning because my market, not saying that they weren't interested in the 9x12, they were, right? I had some, but it was just for my market, the price point it wasn't hitting, right? So I struggled for a long time because I didn't want to sit there and be like, oh, well, I had 100 people tell me no, so I'm going to quit. No, I kept going and going and going, where a lot of people would have quit. And I did see multiple people in my city try it, and then they disappeared. So again, it's a very, very simple model. A lot of people are going to start trying it, right? But then it's like, okay, what are you doing to differentiate, make yourself stand out and make yourself different? Like for me, I got quite a bit of things that are going on to make myself stand out, because I know that there's people, nearby. I have even met with some, right? That there was another video where I met with somebody else, which was cool. And then there's other people that I haven't met that are, attempting to do it, have done it, and so on. So it's just like, okay, what do I need to do to stand out from them? Not because there's not enough for everybody to go around. There is, just like any other business. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, you still want to be able to provide, the service, but also be able to stand out, because, I'm sure everybody wants to have the sales to be easier than, for it to be harder. So with that being said, I have a couple of strategies that I have been running the whole time, and, I'm in it for the long haul. And my marketing initiatives are not like, hey, I'm trying to get the sale today. Is that something that I want? Absolutely. Just like anybody else, I want to put $1 in and then get $1 back. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, and everyone can sit there and try to fight for this very small audience of people that are ready to buy. So at any given time, there's 1 to 3% of people that are ready to buy, but that doesn't mean that they're ready to buy from you. And what is the audience that everyone goes after when they're spending marketing dollars? They are going after that 1 to 3% of people that are ready to buy. So now you have everybody that is fighting over that little small pocket of people, and it's just like, so it makes it very expensive. And then you're like, oh, well, this ad doesn't work, that ad doesn't work. But it's not because it doesn't work, but it's because you're fighting against everybody, right? Because when somebody sees your ad and that ad, you know, it sparks their interest. They stick to look at it, they click on it, whatever the case may be, right? They engage with it somehow. Then they start to get ads from, whether it be your competitors, whether it be, what's that one, Postcard Mania or something like that. You know, all these other different services, maybe even Vistaprint, right, for their postcard. So now everybody is showing up on their news feed, and it's just like, how are you going to stand out? You know, obviously cold calls, emails, you know, messenger, you know, that direct outreach besides ads. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, so, you know, when you're reaching out to people and all of that, that's great. But how are you automatically kind of staying on top of mind? So for me, that's what I have been putting together, and that's what I run for. So for my marketing is a lot of, you know, just staying in front of people as much as possible. Whoever stays in front of the person the longest has the higher chance of winning. So there's a thing called parasocial relationship. So a lot of people, maybe you have seen this, or maybe this is even you post pictures of the postcard, and you're posting picture, which is great. You need that. But nobody's going to be able to build a relationship with the picture. So you got to do video. So I'm constantly having videos, and that is what I use for my ads, because I want people to build a parasocial relationship with me, which means that they start to feel like they know me, like me, and trust me. So that's the strategy that I use, and that's just kind of a very small overview. Now, I have gotten sales, you know, from that, not necessarily from that part, but there's two phases to what I do. So on phase number 2, that's where I have gotten the sales from. But, you know, that's for a completely different video, and that would probably be a training that I would do in the community, possibly. Or, you know, or who knows, you know, I might say, you know what, let me put a course together. Now, you can judge me based on the past, on, hey, you know, this guy was struggling. Well, guess where I'm at today? So today is basically a year later, and I now have multiple postcards out. And on top of the postcards, I have other things that are going on. So, you know, I am qualified to say, hey, I can show you how to do it, because I've already put in, you know, that grind and all that. Now, it would be different if I went out of business, like somebody said that I went out of business because I was recording in the library. Yet you got other successful people that are recording in their house, in an RV, recording in their bedroom. But because I recorded in the library, because I wanted a quiet space to do some outreach, I went out of business. But anyhow, that's just a little rant. But yeah, so make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, join the community. And at some point, I am going to do a training, but that training, again, it's not going to be for the people that want, you know, the instant ROI, because that's not how it works. So if you've been doing the postcard, you also know that, you know, you don't guarantee results, right? You're basically getting exposure. And this is kind of the same, but on a different level. You're getting the exposure because you're trying to build a connection with business owners in your city, and all of that. So, for example, there was I'm not going to talk about it, go into detail, but for example, there was a workshop, and I wasn't able to go to it, but there was a workshop, and it had a bunch of business owners. It was like a social media workshop. Now, even though I wasn't there, I was there. Even though I wasn't there, I was there. And that is part of my strategy. And I think I just lost my microphone. Let me see, where did it go? But anyhow, so even though I wasn't there, I was there. And people got to see me even though I wasn't there. So that's the secret sauce that I'm not going to reveal right now. But anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you in the community. All right, so I'll make sure that I hit the approve so you can get it. And as always, make sure that you watch one of these videos.